I want to welcome you to the Farmington Hills Farmington Commission on Children, Youth, and Families CYF Spotlight Show. Today we are going to talk about the role of community college in bridging divides, building communities, and offering opportunities. My name is Joan McGlincy. I am a member of the commission, and it's been my pleasure today to introduce our two speakers, Julie Button from Schoolcraft Community College, or Schoolcraft College, and Daisy Cordero, who is a financial aid advisor at Wayne State University. And they are going to be talking about the role of community colleges.
Good morning, Julie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today, Daisy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking time to be with us today.
It's my pleasure.
I know that you have been servicing students who attend your community Schoolcraft College for many, many years, and that you are part of that bridging divides that the title of this conversation is about. You're helping to build communities, and the community college that you are working out of right now offers a ton of opportunities to families in the Farmington Hills or the areas in the community. I do have a couple of questions that I know that viewers, if they were sitting here in this spotlight show, would like to ask. Number one, regarding the community college's history, how would you describe a community college?
Well, in the very simplest form, I think a community college is funded by the community to serve the community. And everything in their mission is designed to serve their local community.
Thank you. And what advantages does the community colleges offer a community? I mean, I know there are many, but I'm sure you can choose two or three and just, in your opinion, what advantages are there?
Well, I think the first thing for the community at large, not just college-age students, is continuing education and professional development. Mm-hmm. Probably 2/3 of the students that attend Schoolcraft are actually on our campus, taking a class, learning something, enriching a skill, and of that nature. Also, our open admission, I think, is a huge advantage to students of every ability, and academic level, that we don't have requirements per se for admission. Every student is welcome to come, attend, and learn. It's a great value. It's very well priced, which we'll get into later. So I think if you are of any kind of limited means, it provides an excellent opportunity to get an education and move forward. And I think we offer great academic support and really good student support on our campus. And I think when students come in maybe a little nervous about their academic journey, I think Schoolcraft puts great effort into making them comfortable and making it possible for them.
Thank you. Boy, talking about offering opportunities to the community, you already covered that they do have a lot of opportunities for adults and for youth also. What is the desired grain point average? I think you covered a little bit about that, but is there anything that the viewers would need to know? Let's say I have a child who is interested in going to a community college, but his GPA, his grade point average right now currently is like a 2.0. Would he or she be admissible to a community college?
Absolutely. What we would do, when they fill out an online application, and after that point we ask for their transcripts from their high school. We do look at SAT and ACT scores, but we don't use those for advising purposes. For admission purposes, they're used for advising the student in terms of what is the appropriate class to start. Schoolcraft offers a wide range of what we call foundational courses. So if a student has struggled in high school or has a subject area that's challenging for them, we offer courses that can help bring them up to college level and then move on toward whatever their goal would be in terms of a career program or a transfer to a four-year school, that we would help strengthen their academic skills and bring them up and then continue on with college level courses.
And regarding bridging the divide in ages, I understand that at the community college level, just like at a four-year university, you have classes that are mixed in age and experience. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it starts on many levels. We have a very large dual enrollment program. that attracts high school students. It is actually funded by the state. So for a high achieving student, it's a great opportunity to get college credit funded by the state while they're still in high school. It's a good resume builder. It shows good ambition to the four-year schools when they go to apply to four-year schools. So that's kind of at the very early level. But when those dual enrollment students are in a classroom, they are with a wide range of students and ages. I personally think it's one of the wonderful advantages of being in that environment. I think oftentimes when you step outside your comfort level is kind of the best opportunities for growth and for learning. And so really, no classes are designated. Now, that said, if you're in a program, if you're in the nursing program, you're only in class with other nurses. So it's not that every class is completely open, because if you're working in a program, you'll be with people studying the same thing. But when you're talking about gen ed classes and dual enrollment, it's a wide variety of ages.
And when you say gen ed, are you talking general education courses? Can you give us an example of those? For a student that's working potentially to transfer for a bachelor's degree, every bachelor's degree requires general education requirements. You have to take English and humanities, you have math that you have to take a science class, and many students come to Schoolcraft with the goal of some of those kind of working toward those general education requirements. There's actually what we call the Michigan, it's not what we call, it is the Michigan Transfer Agreement. It is an agreement between all the two-year schools and the four-year schools that if a student were to come to the community college and complete this 30 credit hour packet of coursework, and it is all about gen eds, everyone's agreed on what potential courses would fit into this packet. They can move on to the four-year school, that those gen ed credits transfer as a packet and those general education requirements are completed. For an associate degree, there is not quite 30 credits of gen eds required, but there's a lot of overlap, because those general beginning English classes, math classes will also count for gen eds for an associate degree. Thank you. Are there any deadlines for admissions at a community college?
There are not. We have a rolling admission policy, and really a student can sign up for class up until the first day the class meets. Now, that is not what we recommend, because you have more limited options at the very last minute, and even though we're such a great value and well-priced, it requires financial planning that we think is best accomplished when you decide you're going to attend, get the application going, get the process going, because financing and payment plans and financial aid are all best done way in advance.
And what about class sizes? Do you have small classes, huge classes, medium-sized classes? What about the class size?
Well, if you were on our campus, you would see that it was very deliberately designed for small class sizes. Our faculty to student ratio is 23 students to one faculty member, so all small classes, no large lectures. We also do not have any teaching assistants, which is a nice advantage because you will be in class with your professor that is fully qualified to teach the class, posting office hours, good communication that way, and I think it provides a really nice environment for our students.
So I understand that to be able to reach an instructor after class hours is not as hard as in a place where you would have a class of 100 students trying to vie for the attention of one person.
Well, I think that's absolutely true. I think email is used in a major way, and I think professors take a very big effort to respond to emails and respond to that information, yes. And it's an interesting thing I could probably interject here. When students ask I'm flying now because we're changing things up. I think that they reflected that the dedicated instructors were one of their favorite things about Schoolcraft. So I'm not getting my proper stats here, but you get the
That's
idea.
Good. Yeah, no, that's great. And I think our viewers would be interested in that. That's important. How many students at Schoolcraft right now?
Well, the students, again, the students that are there for credit, for this past school year, there's 11,500 students there are taking credit classes at Schoolcraft, and there's almost 25,000 more students on our campus that are signed up for continuing education courses and professional development courses.
That's an amazing service to a community.
It is a well-utilized facility in many ways.
Can students or families call or email or contact a community college for a campus visit?
Absolutely. The easiest thing to do is go online, www.schoolcraft.edu, click tours, drop-down menu, pick your tour, come on. We have a team of student ambassadors who we rely on heavily because they are the liaison between the admissions department and the students. And I think it's a great chance for a student, prospective student, to ask questions. And I would say that not even as community college, I'm a mom too. I absolutely expected my students to, my children said, go visit a campus. Mm-hmm. And as you know too, you visit a campus, you get a sense of the feeling on campus, and sometimes it feels like a good fit and sometimes it doesn't. So I think that's a critical point for any student considering a school, is to go visit their campus and take a look around.
How would you describe a student who attends a community college versus one who decides to go into a four-year institution from the get-go?
Well, I'm kind of deriving information. We did a branding study several years ago, and I'm taking how they perceive themselves. And they said they were very goal-driven. They knew they were there for 2 years. Going to community college and then transferring to a four-year school might require a little bit more effort if you want to make sure you're taking the right courses and you're on the right track. For example, if you know you want to transfer to Wayne State University and you know you want to get a business degree, what I advise the students is get the curriculum for the business degree at Wayne State, work backwards through equivalency guides to make sure every course you're selecting is going to go seamlessly toward Wayne State and go seamlessly toward your degree. People always ask, will the credit transfer? And yes, it will transfer, but really what you're trying to do ultimately is complete degree requirements. Right. So I think, that's a little more effort. They called themselves goal-directed. They thought they were that's how they set, and I agree with them. I think that they know where they're going and they're working hard to get there, building a resume, trying to impress the next level, whether it's an employer or a transfer, transfer school or whatever it would be. So that's how they describe themselves, and I don't disagree.
Goal-oriented, I like that a lot. Are there any opportunities for internships at a community college?
Well, I'm going to start with my statistic, in that 98% of the students reported that their program provided the skills required for the workplace.
Wow.
But I'll backtrack too. So this comes in many different ways. For students in health information and massage and nursing, they take clinicals. They're required clinicals as they go through their program. For biomedical engineering technology and for our EMT paramedic students, they are actually doing an internship, like it's a formal internship. In medical assisting, you do an office practicum. But then there's a couple other examples on our campus that we're really proud of. One is our American Harvest restaurant, which is completely run by our culinary department. They order food, the food comes, they plan all the meals, they serve the food, everything is done by our department. It's a wonderful experience, and it's one of our nationally recognized programs. Also, we have a child care center on our campus that students in early childhood education, they do have really good field experience working in the child center. And lastly, it's not on our campus, it's on a separate campus for obvious reasons. Our Police and Fire Academy is offered by Schoolcraft College, and if you went there, you would see a burn tower, a driving range for police cars, a shooting range. They have a complete simulation warehouse space for Homeland Security, so really good practical experience while they're going to class.
I consider the community college is a treasure at any community, and what you're describing, it fits with my description or my thinking about a community college. What other services does community colleges, or do community colleges offer families in the community?
Well, in terms, there's so much going on in professional development and that sort of thing. Do you mean academic services?
Well, I mean offering to the community at large, and also offering to the students who are there who who have the objective of getting an associate's degree? What do they have? Tutoring?
So it is more academic. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think our Learning Assistance Center does a very outstanding job of providing a regular network. For one thing, there's free tutoring, so that's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. In addition, they have writing fellows who are excellent writers who will proof papers. Often you'll get extra credit points for just going and having a paper proofread. In terms of disability support services, we have both advisors and extra help in the Learning Assistance Center. International student services. We have services for our athletes to particularly help them kind of balance that, the challenge of being both an athlete and a student at the same time. But generally speaking, the Learning Assistance Center provides all kinds of kind of seminars on our campus on a weekly basis that students can go and just kind of pick up skills that they think would be helpful. Our career planning they do a great job of practice interviews, resume preparation. We're instituting Career Cruiser that will be just another really good resource for students and the community alike.
I do have a question, Julie. What about how do students pay for their journey through a community college? Are there any deadlines for the free application for federal student aid? Are there any additional forms that they have to complete in order to receive financial aid to pay for their courses? Are there any scholarship opportunities?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of timing, whenever you're considering that federal funding, we really do encourage, so for a fall student, we would encourage them to get their FAFSA filed by March 1st. Now, we're a community college, and it's a little bit probably later in the process than the 4-year of when we send out those award letters, but nevertheless, it's a good idea to get everything filed ahead of time. Last year, the Financial Aid Department at Schoolcraft awarded $38 million in scholarships, financial aid, and loans. We're really proud of that. We have the Schoolcraft College Foundation, which fundraises particularly for scholarships. On an annual basis, they award $1 million in scholarships to our students. So it's a huge resource. It's one online application that students fill out, and then the foundation, and I always say, it'll look for keywords and then award scholarships. So, important. It's very important information to share.
Julie, I want to talk a little bit about the free application for federal student aid. Acronym is the FAFSA. And we use FAFSA because it's short, but if you ask anybody, they're not going to know what it is. But it is the financial aid application that every family must complete in order to be eligible for federal aid. And the state of Michigan, when they're able to award funds, they also look at the free application for federal student aid in order to choose their students who are eligible to receive grants.
And also make the point here that at the point, March seems early to some students to know what they're doing. At the point of filling out a FAFSA, you don't have to be sure of where you're going to school.
Right.
If you haven't decided on community college or Wayne State or anything else, at that point you can list many colleges on that application. And then you see kind of what happens, how it all works out in terms of what's available to you, and then you're in a much better position to make a good decision regarding, what's going to be financially feasible for your family for college.
I have one last question, actually, two pro. Number one, is there any help at the community college to assist families to complete the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA? I know the Farmington Hills Library offers that service, but does the community college help? If I call and say, look, I don't know if I'm going to Schoolcraft College, but can somebody there help me in the financial aid office complete the free application for federal aid? Is there
We
such
do have
service?
regular workshops. In terms of making an appointment with the financial aid officer, they would look for a student that's already applied for admission to Schoolcraft. However, if you walked into one of their workshops, there's computers there, they would absolutely help you. And there is a published, I wish I'd brought the sheet, a sheet of upcoming workshops to help with that, to complete that FAFSA.
And then my last question is, Julie, has anyone ever received one of your biggest scholarships at the community college?
Well, of course, we're really proud. This kind of falls into the whole, under the whole question of Schoolcraft as just a community college general, and the quality of our, we're ranked by CNN as one of the 50 best community colleges in the country. And I think That notoriety combined with, this is a very proud point, there is a transfer scholarship called the Jack Kent Cook Transfer Scholarship. It's awarded to 55 students that are transferring from community college to four-year school every year throughout the country. But it's worth $40,000 a year, renewable for 2 to 3 years, so it's a huge scholarship. And of course, I have to share that a former Farmington High graduate, Usha Katayala, was a recipient of the Jack Kent Cook Transfer Scholarship, went on to complete her bachelor's degree. She's now working on advanced degrees. So it's really a point of pride for Schoolcraft that in the last 6 years, 6 students have received that scholarship.
Julie, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. You're trying to recruit everybody in the area and beyond for being here today with us. The community thanks you, the commission thanks you, and I definitely thank you. I've learned a lot about community colleges, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I want to thank you for joining us today and on our topic of the community college in bridging divides, building communities, and offering opportunities. Thank you again for watching.